Hi, Yash, Beyond the Alchemy on YouTube. Semen retention is not easy, otherwise everybody would probably do it. Okay, so how do we make it easier? What can we do? Because it's so damn hard, especially when you're younger, especially when certain life situations and factors are involved. It can seem really difficult when the biology's screaming, like go get laid, or touch yourself or do whatever. So how do we make that easier? Suffering's good. When we get really tired of this, which I assume most people are who are listening, some are just curious and it's cool, planting a seed for later maybe. But those who are really done, you're done. You've seen through it. You've seen that it's a temporary state of euphoria that it gives you, but then it leaves you. It wears off, and then you lose some of your freshness. You're at a lower level, and then we keep repeating this until we get to such a low level that low level meaning emotionally, mentally, physically. This is something that some instinct goes off inside, and it's like, you know what, man? Like maybe this has something to do with me ejaculating all the time, and then boom, something. You start looking for videos and people who know something about this, and you start paying attention and listening. But it's still difficult. So how do we make it easier? That's why I go over the lifestyle principles so much. The nervous system runs everything. The stronger the nervous system is, the more stable it is, the more easy everything's going to be. The less you're going to be stressed in situations, the less you're going to worry, the more easy it will be to cut habits that aren't serving you, because you'll have power. Nervous system's electricity, it's power, and it's also how the cosmic force flows through into our being. It flows via the nervous system. It's like the bridge. The nervous system's huge. So when we stop wasting our semen, we have more power, more energy. But we don't have, how do we get, it's like the chicken, what came first, the chicken or the egg? How do we get the power? How do we get the power? Because we need power to stop the habit, the strong force of losing our semen and energy, so that we can get the power. But how do we get the power to get the power? Right? That's why full spectrum lifestyle. The easier to digest diet we have of food, like not meats and dairies and grains, if you can handle that, cool. I'm not about dogma. I'm about like what I'm talking about right here, which is like the question is, how do we make semen retention easier? So this is why I'm sharing this with you. When we don't eat that heavy stuff, because it's hard to digest. When something's hard to digest, it takes energy, takes more energy. But we need energy because we're trying to do semen retention. So why give up our energy with the foods that are hard to digest and stealing our energy? We need to eat foods that are easier to digest so we conserve our energy, and then we have more energy to do semen retention. And then you start to comb through your life and look for other aspects and areas where you can do the same thing and conserve energy. The environment that we're spending time in, the people, the company that we're keeping and hanging out with. Is that stealing your energy? There's some people, even here, I live in a small town. It doesn't matter though. But, some people, they say, oh, when I go to the city or when I come to town, I'm so tired afterwards. And, it took all my energy. No, you gave all your energy up. You were too much focused on sense stimulation and who's looking at you and what people think of you and all that stuff. So you go home, you're tired. So see, that's an example of how we lose our energy. You got to pay attention, do some inventory, and check your life and see what are the ways you lose your energy, because it's all about energy conservation here. Semen retention's one way, but there's many ways we can conserve our energy. Just sit with yourself sometimes. Just get rid of, I got to make a video, no sense stimulation. And you just sit, just chill. That's first level, external level. There's no sense stimulation. Next level, because we can still stimulate ourselves with our mind and fantasy and imagination. We can be sitting here in nature and be on a full-on inner rave party, depending on our thoughts. So spend some time to get acquainted with yourself to where you're chilling. That's a big way to conserve energy. And then it makes everything else easier. It makes it easier to do semen retention. It makes it easier to not eat a bunch of these heavy foods. Because see, the whole package goes together. If we're losing our semen, we're going to be attracted to heavier, denser, tamasic foods because that's our vibration. And if we're eating heavy, hard to digest tamasic foods, we're going to be attracted to porn and probably masturbation and all that. And then we're going to be attracted to hanging out with company that's not vibing so high. We're not going to really be interested in someone who's vibing high, who's sharing that frequency, because it'll make us uncomfortable inside, even if we don't know it. We'll just make up something that's wrong with the person. They're boring, or he's full of it, or something. We'll tell ourselves something. Then we'll go hang out with our low vibe crowd. Yeah, but they're real, I did all that, I know. And they are. Some of them actually are more real than the spiritual foo-foo people, So you got to discern. There's life can be very complex. So you want to conserve your nerve force. You want to have energy for your nervous system. You want to exercise, but do the right exercise. Don't overdo it. Don't do it with the motive and intention in your mind that, constantly looking in the mirror like, ooh, am I getting, am I buff now? Like, am I getting all these cuts, and now the girls are going to be more attracted to me, because then if they're attracted to me, I'm going to feel better. You got to catch that out. That's another trap. That steals your energy. Being obsessed to try to figure out how to make your body look in a way that people are going to be attracted to, so that you can, because you think that's going to give you energy, that whole thing takes a lot of energy. Just remember, these bodies aren't really real, and they're going to die off not so long from now. And once it's just a downhill process. So don't pay so much attention. Keep your body fit. Be, so that then you're less prone to accidents. Like if you fall or something, you're not going to break your back, or if you jump, you're not going to break your knee, because you're exercising. You're keeping your tendons and joints and everything strong. But just do it like that. Do it to stay fit. Don't make an obsession about it because you think that you, like I said, you're trying to get attention from the collective people because you think that's going to make you feel good. This is a deep program and habit. Now, most will say, no, that doesn't, I know that. But inside, they're doing it. They're living their life like that. You're checking yourself in the mirror all the time. You're obviously stuck on this body identity. You're stuck in that habit. You gotta catch yourself out, When we have more nerve force, when we have our nervous system's more electrified, when our battery's charged, all these things become automatic at that point. Now, it's not all the healthy habits, and they just become more natural. Now, it's not that it's going to be just easy, like, oh, there's still going to be some grind. Like, that's part of life. This is the tax for being in this body, is to transcend these lower desires. Lower desires and habits are still going to be there. They don't fall away. But you have now the power to not listen to them. You can feel the urge to do it. See, the point isn't, don't wait for yourself to never have an urge again to lose your semen or ejaculate or watch porn or do sexual fantasies. Don't wait for that to happen before you start. And when you have a streak going and these things still come up, just chill. Don't worry about it. You have the power to overcome and transcend that. Don't make it such a big deal, because when the mind makes it a big deal, that creates more stress, and then we're more prone to relapse it. And at the same time, if you do relapse, that's also part of the process too. You got to get to where you're okay with everything. You try as best as you can to succeed and do what you know should be done. At the same time, you're totally acceptance if you relapse. That's a paradoxical spiritual principle that almost nobody can follow. But you got to. This is freedom when you can do that. Let me know if you can do that or not. Thanks.